12:32, and you're back with me, Fazila Isaac, on the Mid-Morning Talk. We are joined by Ms. Shamshad Sayed, who is the CEO and spokesperson for the SANMWF, the South African National Muslim Women's Forum, and she'll be enlightening us on the upcoming event that they are having. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sister Fazila. Wonderful being interviewed by a young, dynamic person like yourself. Shukran for having me. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum to your esteemed listeners and viewers.
Jazakallah for taking the time to join us today. I know you did say that, Wednesdays are a bit hectic, but alhamdulillah, you took the time to join us today. So let's just get straight into it. The South African National Muslim Women's Forum, when was it established? I mean, what was the history behind it? Why did it come about?
Sister Fazila, I'm so glad you asked that question. For many decades, women have been doing, even during the height of apartheid, women have been doing social upliftment in their communities, whether it is making sandwiches for schools, visiting the sick at hospitals, etc. And by the early 2000s, it became necessary to form a national body because of the different ideas, etc., and the good work to come under flagship. So it's basically an umbrella organization that was established it's all independent forums in the multitude of towns, villages, cities, nationally, or provinces who are engaged in daily social upliftment endeavors, tending to the unique social upliftment needs of the localities. And I must at this point say that apartheid put us in different townships, basically the Indian township, the black township, the colored, the white. We were separated, but that didn't stop the work of Da'wah, and that didn't stop actually the work of Islam to continue, which is social upliftment. Much of the work of the forums is conducted under the radar. So it's not in the media, and in keeping with the Sunnah and with the Quran and Sunnah, and the motto is enjoining good and forbidding evil, in the tradition of the wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There was a time when they also wanted more money, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down a verse that if the wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam want opulence, they can be divorced. So the honored wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam chose social upliftment, using their many varied talents as opposed to opulence. Now, to date, the efforts of the South African National Muslims Forum has amounted to millions quantitatively in addressing social, local, global humanitarian crises, while the social, intellectual, spiritual, educational, and professional upliftment continue to steam ahead with consistent annual calendar events, including Qira Jalsas. 10 so far. We've had 7 Sisters in Youth Empowerment Conferences, and building and maintenance, of several old age homes and orphanages on a regular basis, schools, hospitals, clinics, the food distribution, domestic lunches, emergency humanitarian relief efforts, etc., long before the COVID pandemic hit. So, in fact, during the pandemic, the height of it, 2 years, there was much more work done, but I think it will take a long time for me to outline exactly what was done during this. We tend to replicate. If there's something good coming out of a certain town, then we will replicate it in all the towns. For example, if Middelburg is doing a domestic luncheon, for example, you find that everybody will replicate it in all the towns. So we're enjoining good and forbidding evil. So that, in a nutshell, is who the South African National Muslim Forum is. But historically, the work was carrying on and networking, but the need came in the early 2000s to form a united umbrella body with women of like minds in the similar intentions. And we always have to step back, correct our intention, renew our intention that this is purely for the service of Allah. By serving Allah, we serve humanity. By serving humanity, we serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because very Allah will ask us on the day of Qiyamah, on the day of accountability rather, a certain person was sick. Did you, if you was, my servant, I was sick, you did not visit me. Say, but you, O Lord of the worlds, how can you be sick? You say, a certain person was sick. Had you visited him or seen to him or seen to her, you would have found me there. A certain person was starving, and he will say as well, I was starving and you did not assist me. And say, but Lord of the worlds, how can you be hungry? How can you be starving? He said, if you visited a certain person, a certain community, you would have found me there. So likewise, in the tradition of the Quran and Sunnah, we feel it an obligation to assist wherever we are. The nucleus of society, upon our laps, great pharaohs and prophets have been born. We choose who we want to be, either good or bad. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use us always collectively as an ummah of Muslims to assist
Ameen.
the need
Allahumma ameen.
of our communities locally, globally, internationally, in our vicinities, in our homes, in our communities, inshallah.
Oh,
Hope
that
that
was
answers your question.
beautiful. I couldn't have said it any better because
Can you, Miss Sister?
if we don't see, gee, I can hear you. I can hear you. Don't worry. We need to
Can
find
you
our
hear me,
purpose and gee, I can hear you. Can you hear me clearly now?
Sister Fazila?
Yes, I can hear you. I think maybe there's a bit of a lag because of, network issues and stuff. I know a lot of our guests have been having an issue because of
Okay,
the
fine.
load shedding that's occurring, so it's not a
Right.
problem.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
can hear you
so
clearly. Just I think there's a slight
okay.
audio delay. I think because of the load shedding.
Yes.
Right.
Gee, that's exactly what it is. Okay, so tell me, the organization has actually facilitated many events before. How has the reception
Yes.
been for these events?
Okay.
Have a lot of people come through? Have they joined you guys? How has the reception been? Okay, I think we are actually having much worse problems with the internet right
Ye-
now. So
Alhamdulillah, through the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it has always been a phenomenal response, always beyond expectations. We've always had a simple thing. Hello, I can hear you clearly, Sister
okay, we're
Fazila.
gonna just take okay, Sister Shamshad, we're
So I'm
just
just
going
going
to
to
go
carry on
for
and
a
say
quick
that
break
the
and
genesis
let's
of this
see if
was
we can get this properly. Okay, we're just going to be
simple.
right back.
Jazakallah, I'll wait for that. All right.
Freshly prepared meals daily. You can be part of this by donating towards the SANZAF Meals Project. Visit sanzaf.org.za or call us on 011 834 6046. SANZAF, changing lives through development and relief.
Online schooling? Why not? Kurtuba Online Academy is the leading global online Islamic school from grade R to matric, offering South African caps and international syllabus. And it doesn't stop there. We also offer online madrasa for every grade. For more information, visit www.kurtubaonline.co.za. Kurtuba Online Academy, the leading global online Islamic school.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042 203 1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
begins the rest of our lives, and through every moment I'll have you by my side. Hand in hand, walking through this life. Hand in hand with you by my side. From way
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
12:43, and we're back with the mid-morning talk. I must firstly apologize. I know we are having quite a bit of technical difficulties, especially on the side of our guests. It's mostly because of the load shedding that has joined us again. You can't take the good without the bad. We got a petrol decrease, and now we have load shedding back as well. So we're gonna go right back to Sister Shamshad Sayed, who is going to continue speaking to us about the event, the upcoming event that you don't want to miss out on. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Can you hear me?
Okay, it's much clearer now, alhamdulillah.
That's good. No, as long as the message goes through, it's important.
Alhamdulillah. So I was asking before we took the break, the many events that the forum has had, how has the reception been, with people coming through and joining the events, etc.? How has that been?
Alhamdulillah, through the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it has always been a phenomenal response. We've had full house always. And remember, we have so many forums throughout the country, so we get people coming from different parts of the provinces to join us on those events. Remember, we had 2 years of COVID. So we had hybrid models. The first year was completely online. We did it from a boardroom out in Houghton, and then the next year was a hybrid model, which was live on TV as well as part of it in the hall. So this year we're having a full hall thing, Alhamdulillah, at the auditorium rather, at the Military Museum on the 17th of September, 9:30 for 10 a.m. So we're asking everybody to come in by about 8:30, 9 o'clock to have your breakfast, be settled, because we're definitely going to start on time at 10 o'clock because we have a power-packed list of speakers and panelists, and we don't want to lose out a minute on them. So yes, in the past, we've always had full houses, whether it's our Kirat or whether it's been our conferences or seminars. And I must just say, I was saying at the time in the video, disappointed that, is that we started this entire conference as a seminar. First, one of our ladies in our forum, her husband passed away, very empowered lady, but simple thing, she didn't know how to access funds to buy bread and milk. So we decided, okay, we're going to empower our ladies by bringing in Islamic bankers and talking about how to become economically, financially savvy. And from there, it became a thing. So we look at the needs from 1 year to the next. What are the needs on the ground for women? Is it emotional, physical, financial, legal, whatever the need is, and we address it with professional speakers in the field. And that's how the conference seminar evolved into a conference, and that's how it's grown into a much awaited highlight of the year for women, because when they walk out from there, there's a lot of hype about what they're going to do, and there's a lot of encouragement, a lot of readiness in their forward thinking. So alhamdulillah, it's a way forward. So as I said, we don't only do physical empowerment, it also do spiritual, intellectual, psychological, emotional empowerment. And hence our theme this year is exactly that. I think you will recall, during COVID, there was a lot of financial problems. There was a lot of emotional isolation. There was a lot of low spiritual keys. And we want to address it in a way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be pleased with us. So we have a host of entrepreneurs. We have a legal specialist, Sister Farana Ismail. We have Sister Zina Dani, Sister Amina Tambe, Sister Bakam Manju, all very empowered in the field of entrepreneurship as well. And then we have also spiritual and emotional empowerment. We have a person like Sister Anisa Ibrahim. And we also have, who doesn't know, Farhana Haturani, Hannah has this on social media. So we have a host of speakers. And then I'll come to it, and I think there is a question where you have with regard to the panel discussion. But to address these emotional, financial, spiritual needs, we have speakers in the field that hopefully will drag us out, of the perhaps the rust that some women may be, but it's not pointing a finger at anybody, it's not judging anybody. It's just yet purely to enrich, to empower, to make you a better version of yourself, inshallah. So that you, as a leader of your community, of home, because you're the nucleus of the home, you can bring stability, love, compassion, understanding, forward thinking, and sense of pride in being a Muslimah and being the leader in your home, inshallah. So this is an empowerment thing. It's a medium through which to empower our ladies for the future, inshallah. So that in a nutshell is just answered to questions that anyone to say that way we started it and how it's been attended. So it's a much loved event, and we hope that the ladies will feel the same way, or not better this year when they walk off, inshallah.
Most definitely. For it having reached the eighth year, or the eighth installment of it, it must have definitely been a success and something that is much needed in our communities. Now,
Yes.
what's very interesting is the topic for this year, rising to the multitude of challenges faced by Muslimas in the townships. So, what gave
Yes.
rise to this being the focus of this year's conference?
It has a history from the very first conference. We have some illustrious women leaders in our townships, and I hate to refer to it. I'm also a HUD as well as honors graduate of history, world history, and Communist Russia, China, 20th century Germany, world history, and as well as South Africa, pre-industrial capital of South Africa, as well as South Africa. But one thing I can tell you is what apartheid has done, it has compartmentalized society, and unfortunately only in South Africa we still think in terms of race. But the reality is physical thing has been done to separate us. The Group Areas Act was created to divide us, to create hatred amongst us, create us and them and the other. And that is the boundaries that we needed to break through the medium of Islam as Muslims, because we all one. You know that, I know. We have the love for each other. So we took a cue from some of our so-called, I don't want to use the word that I'm compelled to because of historical terms I mentioned and political terms, that we have leaders in the field like Apa Farida Makoni, we have Apa Hasina Ali, we have Apa Fatima Yoli in Kwatema, we have Sajja Ranseli in Guatemala as well. We have Hamadi Apa Aisha, we have Sister Zaytoun in Wattville and Brakpan, and we have Hajra also originally from Azadville and Davidson, etc. So we have a host of others. We have people like Sister Shaggy working with them very closely on the field. So we needed to learn to work together and how to deal with situations that they face, because the situations faced in the townships can be much more challenging than we imagine. We've been working with them in different parts of the community, and sometimes people need a social upliftment in even the most affluent areas. Believe me, sister, when I tell you that it's no longer just certain areas that need attention. Everyone needs attention somewhere. The other ways it's emotional, physical, etc. But the whole LGBTQ thing, all our speakers obviously will be addressing it in some way or the other, but we need to address it because Rana will be discussing that. But I think the challenges being faced in the townships are much more, and we took this thing undertaking in the 2019, the year just before COVID. That we're going to be, one of the memorandums that drew out of the conference was that yes, what is the way forward? The way forward is going to work very closely with the sisters to assist each other. They assist us, we assist them in order to achieve our objectives, which is to enjoy what is good and forbid what is evil. And sometimes the challenges faced in the townships, and we hope to be present. We hear some of the challenges. There's a legal assistance required, therefore we'll be having Sister Hana again on the panel to be giving some legal advice as well. So it's a lot to be discussed, and each panel could be given about 4 minutes to answer certain questions that they are faced with. Who's going to be the panel of discussion will be led by Aparasina, who is the Mu'allima, Hafiza, etc. So Allah bless her. And we need to understand that we may have spiritual, emotional, financial problems, but it's nothing compared to what other sisters may be facing, and they still excel. How do you do that? It's the resilience of our South African women that lead by example, and we need to learn from them. So this is the whole idea. It's not a patronizing thing, it's a learning experience for all of us, and enriching thing. To say you're sitting, perhaps, I lost my brother recently, youngest from all of us. few years ago, lost our grandson, lost my father before that, So it's been a string of emotional challenges, but, we rise above it and we say, this is the journey we all have to take. But sometimes we sit with the emotions and we don't dispense with it, don't deal with it, don't go through the processes of grief, collect, properly, and therefore we need that collective help. And there we have it for all of us, inshallah. And Sister Fazila, there have been countless deaths, and whatever the reason and however the reason, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with us, but we also need to assist each other because that's what Allah loves. As I said, Allah will say, Sister Fazila, a certain person was in need of food. Fazila, I was hungry and you didn't feed me. Say, oh Lord of the world, how can you be hungry? And you will say, but Fazila, a certain person was starving. Had you visited a pet, then it would have reached me. So with these things in mind, we need to always revisit our intentions, renew our intentions to enjoying what is good, forbid what is evil. And in a day, I promise you, Fazila, there's not enough time to do the work anymore. We need to do it beyond the hours of work, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it. One of the beyond the hours of work is coming together at the conference and dealing with these issues. Because we are all one. We need to break down these physical barriers onto a spiritual plane, emotional plane, and whatever plane. So if you look at our panelists, we have Alima Hasina Ali, who will be leading the discussion. We have Hajra Maklang, she's a graduate of MTB Nazarpur. I'd like you to share, I'm going to send it to you. Please share it with your listeners. We have Sister Zaytun Sunday. She's the director of the Methodist Watful Outreach and has been with the organization for 22 years. We have Sister Sasanga Ranseli. She's a qualified electrician, certified facilitator, and coach specializing in mindset and transformation coaching for women. So yes, we have, and the thing is with Sister Sadia, she was abandoned and disconnected from our biological family for the first 7 years of her life. And she made the most of the opportunities she received with the orphanage project People Banat out in Nigel, which is not in existence for now. And if I talk about the list of if you let me, can I just quickly read out the list of the accolades of some of them?
Yes, sure.
So Alima Muallima Hasina Ali has been a keynote speaker for us at one of our Jalsas out in North Cliff, Kira Jalsa. And Alima and a current student of Deen is a Mama-free and a new arrival. Alhamdulillah, Muallima is the founder and principal of Madrasa Hasinu Islam based in Spain, teaching Sharia studies. Among other programs and courses, Muallima offers teaches the mentorship program and the anti-bullying workshop. She's currently studying the interpretation of dreams as well as Shafi effect, Alhamdulillah. Then Upper Hajra, just very briefly, if you want a full list, I can email that to you. She's graduate, as I said, of MCB. Muallima is an ECD practitioner, specializing and focusing on children with learning and physical difficulties and challenges. She's also a founding member of Protecting the Ni'amah program. She's also a marriage ambassador. That's very badly needed in our communities right now. Sister Zaytun Sunday is the director, as said, of the Methodist Watful Outreach. She's been with them for 22 years. And this organization services the community of Watful, irrespective of race, religion, or creed. And Sister Zaytun worked closely with the late founder, Auntie Farida Gama. And apart from empowering the community, she completed the Riyadul Jannah course, Alhamdulillah. And I spoke about Sister Sadia Ranseli, but besides being an electrician, she's also a Million Stars coach, one of the founding members of the Duduza Muslim Women's Forum. Oh yes, she's from Duduza, not Fatima, which falls under the umbrella of the South African National Muslim Women's Forum, as well as an executive member of the Sistership United in Deen initiative. She was born in the rural Eastern Cape, and the passing of her grandmother had her moved to Muslim Girls Orphanage, as I said, where she embraced Islam, and the rest I mentioned as well. So these people will be addressing, giving us ideas and empowering us for what the challenges they're facing in the township and how we can all assist and how they're going to teach us to deal with certain things like the LGBT situation as well. It has become very important. We understand the government is legalizing, but we must remember not everything that's legalized is, halal. There are things that are sinful that's been legalized. Like we individually, through our conscience, need to make the distinction. And I said this years ago in the 1980s when adultery was no longer regarded as a crime. And I said to the learners, was the guidance counselor at school at the time in Dundee Secondary, teaching from standard 5 to matric or standard 5 to standard 10 those days, not grade 8 to grade 12. And I said to them, remember the Christian learners that although these things have been legalized, it does not mean that it's not sinful. We have to make the conscious decision not to indulge in it. So similarly, we're faced with another problem. And I think it's something that you shouldn't shy away from and say it like it is in the deen. And yet at the same time, be a citizen of the country, So say it in a way that makes sense and deal with it in a way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most pleased with us, inshallah. So that in a nutshell is basically who the panelists and our speakers are. I did mention who our speakers are. If you want, I can just mention briefly about our speakers.
Okay.
Yeah, Sister Zakia Mantu, she's one of our youth presenters. She's a wife in Mantu, a teenage son, a BSc IT Honours graduate from the University of London in the UK. And she'll be discussing financial, spiritual, and empowerment through life challenges, adapting and navigating through the postmodern world as a young Muslimah. Very beautiful topic. Zinat Ghani is internationally certified, licensed, and accredited NLP practitioner, NLP transformative life coach, and she'll be discussing entrepreneurial empowerment, unleashing the entrepreneurial spirit latent among all women and youth. And I think she's going to mention certain things that are really going to blow our minds, because you can be 80 and bring 200 Rand a month. There's no reason why you shouldn't start a business. So we'll be looking for something like that. And then Attorney Farhana Ismail, BA-LLB. She's an attorney specialist in divorce, family law, domestic violence, mediation, maintenance, immigration law, general commerce, and contractual disputes with 18 years of experience. She's a founding and executive board member of the Muslim Lawyers Association and chairperson of the Islamic Care Line. And she'll be discussing the implications of the legalization of Muslim marriages in light of the recent South African case. So we need to understand that Muslim marriages, your nikah, is now legalized. It's now, they've been accepted and regarded as legal in the eyes of the law. So we need to think very carefully in how we deal with our marriages, because the nikah is now, you are now legally recognized as legally married.
Yeah, Sister Shamshad, unfortunately, we are running out of time. It was so great speaking to you.
Yes,
Yes, yes. Yes, no, I'm
yeah. So mindset and wellness during terminal illness, she's in recession for cancer. And Farhana Ismail will be discussing responding to the LGBT question Islamically acting. And Appa Hasina Ibrahim should be talking about self-empowerment by channeling personal skills into our power, emotional, spiritual, courage, and confidence. So yes, we will be discussing all this at the conference. Hope to see you there.
Inshallah. I love that your panel is so diverse in their fields. They're going to bring a lot to the people who attend because of the diversity in what they are experts in, should I say. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah so much for your time, Sister Shamshad. Inshallah, I wish you all of the best with the event. And yes, we'll catch up with you after the event, see how it goes, inshallah. Jazakallah.
Do attend, inshallah. Inshallah.
Ameen. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
So that was Sister Shamshad Sayed speaking on the South African National Muslim Women's Forum, the 8th Sisters and Youth Empowerment Conference. Get your tickets. It's on the 17th of September from 9:30. So they would prefer that you come in a bit earlier so you can get your breakfast intake. Alhamdulillah. This will be at the Military Museum in Saxon World. The tickets are 250 Rand. And yes, it includes food. Why not, right? You're going to have tea, you're going to have lunch as well. So you've heard the lineup. It's going to be an exceptional event, inshallah. If you can make it through to that, I think you would come out being very much empowered by the speakers that are there. So for me, it's been a wonderful installment of the Wednesday mid-morning talk. From me, Fazila Isaac, we will speak next week again. Inshallah, have a great week. Take care and stay safe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.